You're listening to the Abolitionist Roundtable, patriotic Black American conservative all-access radio, with your hosts, Del, Phil, and Janice. They're leading the charge in advancing the conservative revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600.
All right, greetings, folks. We're back one more time. You have joined the Abolitionist Roundtable. We're on the phone with somebody that sat right there when they voted. Was it 7-1? And in Flint, and so we know who has to take personal responsibility for that, for the crisis, the water crisis that's in Flint. But and also, folks, I want you next week. You have to join this show. I want you to call him. Flood him with calls. Chris is going to be sitting in this chair right here. He's going to be hosting the Abolitionist Roundtable, and he's going to bring you a lot of information. So, but real quick, Chris, because we got a guest coming on in a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and let you give some parting words, and all of us here at the Roundtable will be listening to you next week.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What we're going to do next week, I'm bringing Professor George Moss from me, who has been a professor at the University of Michigan. We're going to be talking about the Constitution. Also, somebody that was just on the History Channel last week is going to be joining us, Dr. Ralph Epperson, who is going to be also talking about the Constitution and why the Congress is actually being able to do the things that they're doing without repercussions. There is a reason for that most people, they talk about the Constitution and they don't understand exactly how dead of a document it is today. So it's in evidence by what's going on with the legislation, this what we call unconstitutional legislation, but we're going to get to the bottom of it. So I'm looking forward to audience participation as well as increasing their knowledge base.
All right. Thank you very much. And my friend, we'll see you. We'll talk to you next week.
God bless all of you.
All right. God bless.
God
thank
bless
you. All right. Thank you. All right, Derek, you can go ahead and get our guests on the phone with us this morning. We're going to have Chris Harris. Chris Harris runs an organization. He's the executive director of Unhyphenated America. He's a Christian conservative. He moved from Colorado to Washington, D.C. He worked with one of the U.S. representatives there. He is a Air Force brat. He lives right now in Virginia. Matter of fact, if you watched him in a debate on Don Lemon's show, I think, is that his name? Yeah, Don Lemon's show. He was there defending our principles, what we believe here on this show. And I want to just say good morning to Chris. How you doing this morning, my friend?
Hey, good morning, Del.
Good. You know, I just wanted to talk about and you in the right now in the studio with me is Phil Stargell joining the roundtable, and Mayor Janice Daniels. This is called the Abolitionist Roundtable, and we want to thank you for getting up with us this morning. Here we had Dr. Cohen on last week, and he's a scientist and talked about global warming and so on and so forth. And I told him that we believe that we have to get up early in the morning to get that truth out there, because we know that a lion can circle that globe before the truth get up and put his pants on. So this is why we believe that this show should be up early in the morning so we can get that information, get the truth out to people before all the talking heads get on TV with all the misguided information. So, just introduce yourself to our audience and tell them a little bit about you.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, Unhyphenated America is an organization that simply believes that America is best when it's unhyphenated, that when you understand and embrace and promote the principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, when you really understand those principles, you're an American, and there's no need for any prefix or suffix. Those things whether it's African American or Italian American, those things.
Yeah,
you can say that they help to celebrate your heritage, but in reality, people start taking that on as part of their identity, separate from being American, and it basically just divides us all.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. What's interesting is that Phil and I, before we even met years and years ago, and the mayor, Phil and I, we're black. Phil is black. He's like better looking than I am. If you would have seen Phil when he was young, he was a nice looking guy. But we never used that hyphen. Phil always said, if I'm gonna put anything in front of America, it's gonna be America. I'm not ever gonna put that African in front of American, because one thing we know that once you put that hyphen or put something in front of America, you have a dual loyalty. And we see that the Hollywood elites right now have this dual loyalty going on. They wanna have BET, but then also they want to have they want awards from the Oscars too. So, but you notice that if you have BET, there is no whites. No whites get a BET award. You notice that, Phil?
Yeah.
So, but they want to So here, we're going to start the conversation, and we're going to talk about this topic right here. Do black actors matter? They're unlimited. There's no limit to the liberal Hollywood multi-millionaire political correctness. So that's our theme. And so, but this is what we're going to do, Chris. We're going to start off with a soundbite, and we're going to get into this conversation. So, Derek, if you don't mind playing soundbite 206, please.
So it's not going to, we can't say hocus pocus, presto changeo, and the membership's going to change overnight.
The numbers are kind of amazing. 94% white, 77% male.
But here's the thing, and I like to say this. The Academy, okay, my man Michael Strahan over there again, he knows what I'm talking about. This whole Academy thing is a misdirection play.
Okay, how?
We're chasing the guy down the field, he doesn't have the ball. The other guy is high step in the end zone, so it goes further than the Academy Awards. It has to go back to the gatekeepers.
Studios.
Yes, the people who have the green light vote. Have you seen Hamilton yet?
I have seen Hamilton.
You know the song, You Gotta Be in the Room?
Yeah.
We're not in the room.
So this is where we at right now. He said that we own our own studios. I mean, Spike Lee is somebody that I watched some of his movies. He even got a little kooky now, but I was impressed with him when Spike Lee started. Spike Lee is somebody that he got his own money together and produced his own movies. Now he's telling people that, well, the reason why we're not getting Oscars, and this is where that is dangerous, and this is why it's important for you to be on, Chris, with this unhyphenated America. It's dangerous. The reason I say I think it is a very dangerous. Now he's saying that we need to be on the boards. Mm-hmm. That's what we need. They didn't. Blacks haven't had an award in just 2 years. Prior to that, Queen Latifah. All your black is Don Lemon. That's somebody I like. Viola Davis, Terrence Hall, Jennifer Hudson. This is somebody that came off American Idol.
Yeah.
She even got an award.
Yeah.
And so, so now he's saying that we need to be in the room. Before you know it, Muslims are going to say we need to be in the room. Next, you're going to see homosexuals say we need to be in the room too. So where are we going with this, Chris?
Well, Del, you pointed out a lot of the same things that I would point out. And the problem with playing this game, of course, is there's actually a grievance totem pole, as I would call it. And when you understand that you can look at the history, for example, we'll take it partisan here for a second and look at the history, the recent history with the Democratic Party, you quickly come to realize that black folks, or in this respect, I would call them African Americans, are at the bottom of the grievance
so-called what they want to be called. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but they're being used by the Democrats, of course, as like playing a chess game, being used as the pawns. They're very necessary to get out. That's why there's always such a robust get out to vote message within black folks. because they know doggone well that if black folks don't get out to vote, especially during the presidential general elections, that they lose. So, but what happens is that the instant after the votes are tallied, black folks go right back down to the bottom of the totem pole, because here's what we know in the past 8 years, 7 years, is that the only people who've really gotten anything out of this president are the LGBT community, gays, right? You got the gay community has gotten things out of this president, and Wall Street has gotten things out of this president. Not black folks, but we're the ones who are the biggest defenders of it. So it's kind of sad because we play this game and we think that we're going to sit there and march and protest and that we're going to get this. But that was a business model, if you will, that worked, and that's we could argue whether or not it worked, but that worked from the civil rights movement in the 1960s, but hasn't proven to be successful at all since then.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So it's just been something where we just kind of look silly and we're just marching around. But what have we really gotten out of it? And to put that in perspective with Hollywood, there's all these black mega millionaires in Hollywood. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of them, but there's a good enough number of them. People who have excess net worth in excess of $10 million, who, if they were to pool their resources, could open multiple studios. I'm not a big fan of Tyler Perry, but I respect the heck out of Tyler Perry's business acumen, and I kind of say to all the black folks who are whining about the Oscars, shut up and follow the Tyler Perry method. Go ahead and start owning your studios. Do what he's done, because Del, as you and I spoke about the other day, we're both students of Booker T. Washington, and I say this: if we had listened to him 100 years ago, he died in November of 2015. If we had continued his legacy that he started from 100 years ago, we wouldn't be in this position we are today, where we're begging, going to white folks with our hat in our hand.
Yeah. Here,
begging
Phil.
For scraps.
Yeah, I want to get the Roundtable involved in this right here. Phil, Whoopi Goldberg said on the Oscars, this is reported from the Hollywood Reporter, Whoopi Goldberg, on the Oscars, diversity, black movies are not being made. She said that she won't boycott the awards, Phil.
Well, that's a good sign, but I think she might be doing it for the wrong reason.